and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Hi, I'm Sara Meeks, and I'm here today to go through a set of 2 videos showing the use of foam rollers for the management of osteoporosis. So the first thing I'm going to do is explain why I do it, and using my skeletal model here, how it works with the skeleton and so on. And then in the second one, we have a model who's going to go through the exercises I'll be instructing her in the rollers. So the idea of the management of osteoporosis for me is always lengthening of the vertebral column in the front. I call this the front of the backbone, and this is where most fractures and compression occurs. And if we turn the model over, we see that we have these spinous processes. So by lying prone, and also when you're lying on your back, if you have pressure on these, you're going to have increased lengthening of the vertebrae on the front. So that's kind of the idea, putting the pressure on the back to lengthen the front. Also to take the pressure off from the intervertebral discs. You'll notice that there are discs in between each vertebra that acts like a little sponge there to take the pressure off from the vertebra itself. So when I have people use the rollers, the one I usually start with is this one. This is a soft density half roller. So when the person lies on it, they lie on the round surface, but it's very stable because the other side of it is flat on the table or on the floor. So to get onto the roller, the safest way, and this is the way I teach people to do it, is I have them roll to one side, and I wedge the roller up behind their back, and then I have them roll up onto the roller. So now we're getting the pressure on the back, on the spinous processes they're called, on the back, those little pointy bones there, which is pressing upward and again creating the lengthening here. And the idea is when the person is lying on the roller, I take them through a series of exercises. I will have the model lie on the roller with their hands on the table, and usually their hips and their knees bent and the feet flat, but sometimes I put a roller under the knees when we start to avoid cramping of the muscles that they're not used to using, and so on. And so they're lying on the roller, and just the lying on the roller itself will help lengthening. And then when they get off the roller, most people will notice that the back actually feels longer, and when they get off the table, then they can stand up taller and so on, just by lying on the roller. So I start everyone on the one here. It's a soft density, half round roller. And so everybody, no matter who they are, no matter how old they are, no matter what their situation is, this is the roller that we start with. And once they can master this, then we can move on to other rollers. I have a lot of rollers here. Now, for example, this one is a full round. I think it's a 4-inch diameter, and so, but this one would be more unstable because it is fully round. I also have another roller, let me see here. I have a roller, here is another half roller. They come in different colors. This is a hard density. This one is another half roller, and it's a soft density, but it's not as soft as this one. This is the one that I always start with, and then they may progress to this one. All of these rollers, I should mention, have been sent to me by a company called OPTP, Orthopedic Physical Therapy Products, out in Minneapolis, and I want to say thank you to them for sending me the many rollers. Some of them I already had, but they sent me more for this set of videos. Now, the roller that most people seem to like the most is this one. This is because it's very pretty, hot pink. So it's a full round, 6-inch diameter roller, and this is the one that's the most popular. There are other 6-inch diameters, like the blue one over there. That's a firmer density. There's another 4-inch. And then if we want to get very specific, and the people go through the exercises on the other rollers, I recommend this one. This is a firm density 3-inch diameter. And the difference is that now we can get the force on the spine more specifically on the spinous processes. So it's a small roller, but it can be harder to do than the larger rollers. So when you graduate to this one, and I use this one, and I have other people that have used the 3-inch one, and they really like it because it's very, very specific. And that's one of the principles of the Meeks method, is specificity of movement. The more specific I can get to the area that needs to be worked on, the better it is. So that's the 3-inch firm density, not for everybody, but it works great. Okay, I also have a roller in the front here, this large density. Now, people don't usually get that one. That's one that I use for therapy. That when I'm doing stretching of the hips and the knees and so on, this is a roller that I use quite a lot for the therapy sessions. So we know that, and I may have mentioned this before, that some of the tightness that we have in our hips and our knees and even down into our feet affect the alignment of the spine. So I use that roller in therapy. Now I have another roller here. It's called a smart roller. It's the only roller in the United States that has been trademarked, and the therapist's name is Stacy Barrow. She's out in California. And some of the advantages of this roller is it's irregular in shape. It's not round, and it's not really flat on one side either. And so you can have the person could lie on either side. And one of the exercises that Stacy has people do, in fact, I think she told me one of her patients kind of invented it, is you can rock on this side to side, and that's really relaxing for the spine, and it also contributes in a very safe way because they're rolling, they're twisting the spine side to side. Now the spine and the bones are the weakest in that movement, but when you're lying on your back, you have gravity eliminated, and then you can get that shear force on the bones and on the discs in a very safe way. It's an exercise that I would probably do after my patient has been with me for maybe 5 or 6 sessions, and they've learned some stability exercises and so on, so that they're safer on that. But there's also the smart roller, and at the end of this video there will be a link to Stacy's website. She has a lot of information on the use of the smart roller, and probably other rollers too. And so her information will be there for you. So that's a little bit of an introduction to the foam rollers. And we're going to go immediately, we're going to end this one and then go to the next one, which will be showing the exercises that can be done on the rollers. Thank you for watching this video.